Welcome back, everyone. With Memorial Day weekend on the horizon, we have barbecues, cookouts, and picnics. They're all back into our lives. And with that, it's an ideal time to think seriously about food safety. In this sponsored interview, we have Dr. Gordon Harkness with Optum to share what we need to know. Some Memorial Day weekend holiday coming up, lots of people grilling. What do you want to tell people?
Yeah, I think it's so fun that we're able to get outside now, but we do have to make sure we're handling food safely and avoiding some of the problems that can come from germs that sometimes are on uncooked food and that type of thing.
What's the biggest message when you're talking about meats and other things and veggies all together cooked on a grill?
Yeah, I think the first thing to keep in mind is everything's got to be clean, and that includes your hands. Starts with your hands. So both before and after handling food, make sure you're washing your hands. Make sure that you're washing utensils in between when you're using them on different things, especially with raw meats. Your plates and platters as well need to be clean, and then also refrigeration. You got to make sure things are kept in the refrigerator and packaged right so that they're not going to cross-contaminate in the fridge as well.
Well, cross-contamination, a big no-no when it comes to especially meats outside. So just designate maybe the tongs or whatever utensil for that particular meat.
Yes, that's a great tip and a good way to keep from spreading the germs that are on those raw meats. And that's why we cook them in part, is to make sure that we're making the food safe.
So another question, how long can we keep the food outside, especially with the temperatures heating up?
Yeah, so in general about 2 hours, but when the temperatures are higher, we really should cut that down to about an hour. So especially if it's above 90 degrees outside, you ought to get that food put away after the meal and back into the refrigerator.
And maybe err on the side of safety if it's 90 or above.
Yes.
Just take it inside less than an hour.
Yes.
Okay, so let's also talk about food handling. Make sure everyone's washing their hands. What about the meats? How high should the temperature be for it to be safe?
That's a great question, and it's one of these things where we think we know whether it's cooked or not by just looking at it or how it smells, but really it's important to use a thermometer. That's the only way you can really know what the internal temperature is. So when we're talking about cuts of beef, usually you want to get that to at least 145 degrees Fahrenheit internally. Same thing with fish. Chicken's a little bit higher, 165. And then when you're dealing with ground meats, your hamburger, that type of thing, that ought to be about 160 to 165 internal temperature as well.
So you would suggest having that meat thermometer outside while you're cooking at the grill?
Yeah. The other thing we often forget is the leftovers. When you're reheating the leftovers, you ought to get that up to a temperature of around 160 to 165 just to be safe.
Oh, I don't think I do retest the leftover meat when you put it in the microwave or something like that.
Yeah.
Okay, let's also talk about people who might be pregnant as well. Keep away and make sure all of those are safe and at a higher temperature. Yeah,
so when you're dealing with foodborne illnesses, with pregnant women, even if you have mild symptoms, but maybe it's associated with a fever and aches and those types of things, that can be more problematic for the pregnancy than maybe for you as an individual. So do get that checked out with your doctor.
What are some symptoms when it comes to food poisoning?
Yeah, so I think most people would recognize the symptoms, but basically your stomach upset, nausea, vomiting, diarrhea. Sometimes there's even fever involved with it.
And when should someone seek medical attention when it comes to food poisoning? Because I think in your mind you're thinking, okay, let it just pass and I should be okay.
Yeah, and in most cases that'll happen. But if you have really severe symptoms, so if that diarrhea's got blood in it, that's something that you need to get checked out right away. A high fever, 102 or higher. If because of the nausea and vomiting you're not able to keep any liquids down and you're becoming dehydrated, you should get checked out. For most people, the symptoms will resolve on their own, but if it's lasting more than 3 days or so, you really ought to get checked out as well.
Such important information. Where can people find more information if they are wondering, hey, some tips here, we've got some cookouts throughout the summer, where should they go?
Yeah, the internet's a great source, and one of the things I'll point out is that if you feel like you've been become sick from food.
You have salmonella or something like that.
It's important to report that to the health department. They've made it really easy. There's a website. It's called I Got Sick, as one word, igotsick.health.utah.gov, and that's where you can report what's going on, and they collect that information and they're able to figure out if there's a foodborne illness outbreak that's occurring in the community.
Such a good tip, and of course you can always go on our website as well with Optum. Thank you so much for that sponsored health segment.
Thank you.